Welcome back, Cast Club TV. And man, we got a good one today. I know it's been a minute since I uploaded. My bad. And I was, down bad. I was sick. Still getting over it now. But I'm back, man. I'm back making content. I'm good. Trust me. I ain't give up yet. All right. So, man, I gotta give a shout out to Low, man. He's he's a good YouTuber. Him and his brother, man. I really support them. So I just want to react to maybe this Chris Paul and Clippers situation, right? He has an interesting take on it. I want to react to it with you guys. So let's just jump into it. Let me know what you think. All right.
Out in Clipperland about the ongoings of why Chris Paul was eventually sent home. And I'll be honest with you, it doesn't get any better whatsoever. Shout out to Daniel Lee over at YouTube, amazing content creator. He puts some really good content. He highlighted for us a few segments in a game in which Chris Paul was, a bit critical of the.
Damn, you need a pimple patch, don't you, brother? Yeah, I'm gonna stop. It's all love, but you need a pimple patch immediately.
The effort that was given from Kawhi Leonard defensively, and there's also other reports claiming that this was a part of the reason why Chris Paul was departed from the organization, because they got tired of his lawyering in the locker room. So shout out to Daniel Lee. Actually, a really good content creator. But let's see what he got to say.
It's the Cavaliers. Chris Paul was not happy with Kawhi's lack of urgency on defense. As reported by Shams on Wednesday, Paul was sent home by the Clippers because his leadership style clashed with the team. He had been vocal in holding management, coaches, and players accountable, which the team felt became disruptive. And this game might show what the fuss is all about. In the fourth quarter, the Clippers were down 13 and needed a spark. But with rookie Kobe Sanders matched up on Donovan Mitchell, Mitchell runs a pick and roll with Mobley, and he's able to throw it up to him. Then after a miss, Mitchell has Sanders on him again and is easily able to step into the step back three to push the lead up to 18, leading to a...
By the way, when you watch certain stuff like this, man, you gotta understand they definitely pick certain stuff apart, and you're just like, okay, we're being nitpicky here. If I'm being real, they are. I gotta be honest, right? But it just comes with the territory, I guess.
Clippers timeout. Right out of the timeout, Paul decided to take the challenge of guarding Mitchell. Now, this, of course, is weird, considering that Paul is too slow, especially when you have better defenders like Kawhi Leonard or Nicholas Batum on the floor. But it was a chance to try and take things into his own hands, and he does a good job fighting over this ball screen, which forces someone else to then try and make a play. Next possession.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If we get breakdown of Chris Paul being the best point of attack defender on this roster, we gonna have some real fucking problems, dog.
All right, so that was gonna be my next thing. Man, I know he's gonna jump right into that. I definitely agree. Like, come on, Chris Paul, he was ass on defense this year. He was ass. He was 40 though. He's 40, bro. Y'all know come on, bro. My whole take on this before we jump any longer into this video, man. Chris, just enjoy your time. You were trying to do all this, be this leader. Your team was not good. You guys weren't championship caliber. I get it's in your DNA to always be competitive. But you just did it's the glory years. Have fun, bro. Play hoop. You weren't playing as much as you wanted. And just ride it out, man. This is your farewell. Why ruin it? And now look at you, not picked up at all. It's crazy. Don't do this to anybody else. I might want to talk. I never made to that level. But when you do get to that level, it's your last year. Who cares? Kobe was on the ass team his last year. Jordan was on the ass team his last year. I guess I'm counting the Wizards his last year. Like, people just are. I'm not saying he's at that level, but he's a superstar. And a lot of these players that hit that level, look at Melo. He was jumping at the end, but like, it's fine, bro. Just live your last year, play hard, and just retire with dignity.
If we get breakdown of Chris Paul giving more effort defensively than anybody else, I'm gonna be honest with you, we're gonna have some real problems, dog.
He does a good job holding his ground initially, but Paul tries to swipe at Mobley, and he's too slow to recover to Mitchell, who drives and throws it up to Mobley again. Now, despite that...
That's not Chris Paul. That's actually pretty good defense, bro. That's just shit like that happens. I wouldn't even put that on him.
Defensive mishap, Paul had been a spark on the offensive end, and this one's a classic, faking the dribble handoff to Kawhi, and then driving to the rim to cut the lead to 14. Wow. And here's where the fun begins. With everyone getting back on defense, Garland then tells Nance the reason is Garland wants the ball to keep rolling as a stall tactic, knows how the game clock continues to move, but the shot clock is still at 24 seconds. Now, Chris Paul noticed that, and you can hear him say,
"Oh, 389."
But Kawhi Leonard just lets
I agree with Chris Paul here. What is y'all doing? This is like an urgency. I agree. I'm not mad at that at all. At all.
Garland roll it all the way up to the front court, and by the time he picks it up, the Cavs were able to trim down 16 seconds of game time. It also doesn't help that as Garland drives into the paint, he's able to kick it out to Jalen Tyson for 3 to make it a 17-point game. So from start to finish, the Cavs were able to waste over 30 seconds of game clock and
that was Kawhi's man that he left open.
Also get a bucket to extend that lead. On the next possession, after Zoo makes the free throw, Kawhi starts trotting back again until someone tells him to get up. Now, the only reason he's lucky here is that after a dead ball like a free throw, the clock doesn't start until Garland actually touches it. So even though there's still a decent amount of space to let it roll, he just picks it up when he realizes the clock won't move. But then just 30 seconds later, after Kawhi knocks down the 3, every Clipper runs back again, so Garland just lets the ball roll again. Kawhi is slow to get up again, and as the camera pans back to the game view, Chris Paul ran all the way to the backcourt to make sure Garland picked it up, and Kawhi's not even in this shot.
Nah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's no way that y'all are complaining about this man when he's the only. Chris Paul literally has 1 foot out of the league, and you're telling me he cares more on a per possession basis when he's on the floor more than Kawhi Leonard? He's able to give more effort defensively than Kawhi Leonard?
Now, Lo, let's be honest here. This is very we're picking a lot. This is very nitpicky. We're looking at a couple possessions, but I do agree. Yeah, I mean, this is just bad. This is bad. It's bad. It's bad. Even if it's not Kawhi Leonard, it should be somebody else on that team that's going up there. Batum, somebody. Hey, I got this. We should be pressing. We want to win anyway. I don't. Yeah, this is why the Clippers are who they are. I'm just being honest.
He's able to go out there and try harder than Kawhi Leonard, and this is what y'all were upset about?
Was eventually way behind the play. So, once it got to a dead ball, Chris Paul finally goes up to Kawhi and is like, hey, man, you got to get up, dude. The Cavs are wasting way too much time. And on the next possession, after Zubac makes his free throw to push it down to 11, Kawhi finally gets up to Garland so that they can't waste any.
I might have been wrong, but is Chris right? Like, I don't know. He might be right. But it's your glory years, man. I don't know. I'm confused. Maybe he thought he could win with this team. I don't know.
Clock. Then just yesterday, Chris Haynes reported that Chris Paul had made a suggestion about switching Kawhi off of Klay Thompson in a game against the Mavericks. On this one, Klay comes off the screen, and Kawhi had a lot of trouble navigating that screen. So Paul asked Kawhi in the huddle if he preferred to switch off of him. And apparently, Jeff Van Gundy did not like that Paul had even made that suggestion.
Hey.
This is a microcosm of what's been going on in LA.
Now, I'll be real. All right. I was watching Gil's Arena, and Rashad was saying this, like, hey, you know, who's gonna be a leader, da da da. If I'm making a good suggestion, like, hey, you can't keep up with him, and you tell me you might have leeway at your other team, but you don't have it here, I'm just gonna be real with you. That's kind of disrespect, especially if I'm right. If you've seen, like, maybe he's the eyes that you guys actually might need. Maybe this is the reason you guys have been asked. Maybe if he was there, especially during those times when they did have Paul George and all them, maybe you guys would have won or just fared better. I don't know. But from what I'm seeing here, this is not a. I don't know. Now, if they're tanking, I get it. Get them out of here. We're trying to lose. We're trying to get the top pick. But I don't know what's going on. If you look at the team on the floor, though, that looks like a decent team. That's a playoff team. So, I don't know.
The Clippers, despite being a veteran group, have been lacking energy and effort. Kawhi Leonard.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. This is pitiful to watch. This is pitiful to watch. You're telling there's like clips of Chris Paul looking at Kawhi like, bro, what the fuck?
Despite being a veteran group, have been lacking energy.
Look at Chris Paul looking at him like, bro, what the fuck are you doing, dog? Your time in the league, right? The effort that Kawhi provides, it's been slowly deteriorating over the years. Anyone who's watched him knows it. So when people give like Kawhi this gas of being this two-way player, y'all are not watching him because he does not.
I agree.
To the same degree that he used to for him to receive the label of a two-way player.
I agree.
He doesn't. So even in the hypothetical of like, well, when Kawhi's healthy, he's not the same player. He's an amazing scorer, but there's a lot of other amazing scorers who are also just as good, if not better defensively, who are substantially better passing and playmakers.
Yep.
Like Kawhi just isn't that player.
Nope.
This is, in all honesty, part of the reason why the Clippers as an organization is so fascinating, because there isn't anybody on that team that will ever hold Kawhi Leonard responsible. If Kawhi...
This is what I think is wrong with the Clippers. For so many years, he's definitely correct here. They just don't. They really don't. They really don't have anybody ever like could tell him, Kawhi, you're wrong. Kawhi, what you're doing is bringing down a team. Now, if you, I don't know, I'm out in that locker room. If you came to that locker room and said, hey, look, I'm dealing with this problem with my muscles, my knees, whatever. I can only play a certain amount of games. If he was being, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to say this before I do say this. Tell them to take less money if they want to give you that money because, hey, I'm not trying to be in your pockets. But, like, you can't take away from the team like you do and then expect all the money. And that's just my issue, if I'm being completely honest here. I agree. Paul George couldn't keep him accountable. None of the young players can keep him accountable. They just can't. What can they say to him? So there's always just been this. This is why they have a ceiling. I think when he went to Toronto, you had a team there with leadership where he could just kind of plug and just play. When he has to be the leader somewhere, without that great coach, I'm not saying Ty Lue's not, but not established great coach that could really try him. I think Kawhi just likes it. I don't think he cares. I think he just wants to get paid and that's it. So that's why where they're at, man. And James Harden, I mean, he wants to win, but he's in LA. He's back home. I don't think he really cares. So
Leonard is supposed to be the quote unquote leader of the team. And so if you're telling me from a leadership standpoint that Chris Paul is willing to give more effort defensively than you are when you're not playing games, you're on a minute restriction, you're getting paid more than everybody else on that team, and everything started with you. They first made all the decisions to build around you, and here we are now where Chris Paul, with a foot out of the league, is showing more responsibility, care, and effort defensively than you are. You should be ashamed of yourself. But again...
No, let's not do that. Because Kawhi Leonard's a foot out the league, too. I'm just being honest. Like, he got what? Maybe... I'd say next year might be his last year. I'll be real. He just hasn't been a factor in so long. I think with the injury. So, we got to give that to him also. I'm just being real.
I'll be honest with you, it doesn't really surprise me. The fact of the matter is that these are the shenanigans that continue to happen. And then you have Clipper fans running around, or Kawhi fans who are holding on to 2019 and acting as if like that nigga is ever going to appear again. Y'all acting as if like 2019 Kawhi is ever going to come back. He's not. He's old.
I agree. It's a wrap. It's a wrap for him. He ain't the same. He's not coming back. It's a while still, but I'm just saying it's a wrap for him. So I do agree here. I do agree with you. People do hold on to that. And you're right. It's gonna be on 6 or 7 years that he ain't been that guy. So
old, but he's there to get checks, cash it, and move on.
I agree.
And then for Van Gundy to come up and tell Chris Paul, you're not allowed to do that. Why? Are y'all all afraid of Kawhi? Are y'all all got your tails tucked between your legs? Crazy. This is
no. It's how you say it too. It depends how he's talking to Kawhi. I always say, Charlemagne says this: honesty without compassion is brutality. So if he's being honest, but he's saying it with attitude, he's saying it condescendingly. I'm just being honest, though. That can get you for the coach to be like, hey, nah, we don't do that here. Sorry. You ain't that guy no more, pal. We're trying to tank. We're trying to get another pick. That's what I think they're saying, if I'm being honest. Because say for example, this is Chris Paul even 3 years ago. They let it ride, but I think they're trying to tank right now, and that's just what it is. But I mean, if you want to look at the overall altruistic view, whatever, yeah, I agree. They're selling.
Crazy.
And effort. Kawhi Leonard has not been the most engaged with the simple things, but it's not just him either. In that game against Miami before Paul got canned, the Clippers had a lot of trouble grabbing defensive rebounds. On this one, after the Heat take a three, the ball's batted around, and Harden's right there to grab it, but he's too slow to the ball. And then just
That was a terrible example. I mean, that was just he's just too slow to. Okay.
minutes later, as Fontecchio's taking the three, Harden's just standing there, and Bam snatches the ball over him. That then gets kicked out for another three, and this was in part of a 30-2.
I agree, but like Bam is a good rebound. I mean, that was a tough one there. I mean, yes, you can box out, but that's a tough one right there. If we're being real, that's being super critical because you could point this to any team right now, and maybe not except for OKC. That's the only one I'm like, okay, but like everybody else, come on now.
Run by the Miami Heat that ended up blowing this game wide open. So we don't know what Paul may have said behind the scenes that may have triggered his sudden departure, but what we do know is that the Clippers are not engaged throughout the whole game, which is why they're 6-16 to start the year with no light at the end.
Watch another dude.
Shout out to Daniel Lee, amazing content creator, really keen on highlighting certain aspects. That video is doing crazy numbers too, 500,000 views. Shout out to Daniel Lee for what he does. If y'all want to continue to support Daniel Lee and the content he produces, he does a really good job at eyeing a lot of things. I saw the D'Lo one. I saw the Bronny mistake one as well. I'm a fan of Daniel Lee, but overall though, pretty.
Man, that's pretty much the end of the video here. He's not really gonna, if I skip through here, he's not really gonna, it's just really him just gonna break down the video. But if I was gonna give my own like surmise of this, man, I was always split on this when I heard of this. When I heard CP3 was no longer gonna be there, I did think it was weird for his legacy. For this is a team that, yes, he had those Hornets years, but this is the team that really put him on the map in terms of maybe winning. For y'all to do this to him, yeah, I know he's a headache. But let it ride. Who cares? Maybe just sit him down. I think if you guys would have prepped him before the year started, or maybe towards the end, like, hey, look, man, we know we're not gonna be good. This is gonna be a farewell tour. We don't care about being good. We're gonna give you 15 minutes a night, 15, 16 minutes a night. Do your thing. You can shoot as much as you want, pass as much as you want. Do whatever. I think you just had that conversation with him, but putting it up in the air so he has this type of reaction towards you, and you're trying to play like, why do you have this type of reaction? I do think that's weird. I think that's strange, and I just think he was owed more than that. But that's what the Clippers organization is. What it is. I actually have this also. If I can find this here, let me go to my videos if I can see. If I can see here, let me try to see because when you look at those views. This also came out with Ty Lue kind of dissed him, so.
Fuck CP, ain't no name on it. Nigga, get the ball plays and get the action. You got it.
And this was just CP trying to put a name on an offense, and the coach is like, forget him. We run our own thing. So I definitely think this is a little disrespectful too for this to come out, everybody laughing. I don't know how the seriousness of this, so I'm not gonna really get into it too deeply, but yeah, there's problems there, and they just need to fix that though. So if you want more reactions, I'll be doing a lot more. I'm gonna be posting a couple a day. I'm really trying to build this channel out, so I'm gonna build a community. So let me know. Comment. What do you think? Now, I want, I'll go back and forth in the comments. Do you think CP3 deserved this? Do you think the Clippers are right? Let me know, man. And, check out my other video, man. I did the one with reacting to Kenny Martin versus Draymond. And, I'm going to keep continuing to do this, man. So this is Cash Club TV, and we're out.